and welcome back to my channel. I am the Planning Mimzy, and today I'm actually doing kind of a cross-channel collaboration between my planning channel, the Planning Mimzy, and my other channel, the Sustainably Healthy Mimzy, which I'm still getting off the ground. So I am going to be doing this video and also a vlog on my other channel to kind of describe some of the changes that I'm making in my life. But for this video, I want to focus on how those changes are affecting my planning and what I do in my journals. So I have a whole stack of things that I kind of want to talk about, and this is actually the last one that we're going to get to. This is my current bullet journal, so I'll set that aside. I also have some sticker packs and this file folder from my latest Zen Pop box, which actually, believe it or not, play a role in this, so I'm going to set those aside. But what I want to start with is this. This is my first half of 2019 bullet journal. It's a Dingbats vegan notebook with vegan leather. It's got a little whale on the front and then recycled paper on the inside. I was really hoping this notebook would last for the whole year, and it did not. I had probably enough paper to get through July, but I really didn't want to have to start 2020 in this new one and then have to immediately switch after January or February. So I made the decision to go ahead and make the new purchase. So I'm not going to point out too much in this, except there is a couple of things that I did that I really liked that I'm going to be continuing to do as best I can in the other one. So I started by separating everything into seasons, and I have found that to be incredibly helpful because I don't know, one of the decisions that I'm trying to make is to follow nature's natural cycle, which is, seasonally and yearly. So so I did that in this bullet journal, and it is something that has become a much bigger part of my life than just how I lay out this spread. So that is that. The next thing I did was the level 10 life spread, which I took from Boho Berry, and she's on YouTube and I think Instagram too. And this was really helpful when I did it in my bullet journal before this one, but I found that I wasn't using it as much. I stopped doing the monthly check-ins in April, and even in April, I wasn't really using the monthly check-ins for anything other than just to feel bad about the goals that I hadn't reached, or the fact that I couldn't increase anything, or that I even, in some cases, wanted to decrease something that was on my level 10 life spread. So this has become obsolete for me, but it's transformed into something else. The other thing I want to talk about very briefly is this a year in pixels. So I started this because I was trying to track a lot of things. I was trying to track my migraines, I was trying to track my anxiety, and I was going through some changes professionally, and I was interested to see how they affected my attitude and my mood. This was an incredibly helpful spread when I started it, and I kept up with it for a while. But it stopped being useful, and I did some real reflection on that when I switched bullet journals, because I really enjoyed this spread. But now that I'm making these changes in my life, I don't need this anymore, because I now know enough about myself and enough about the things that I deal with to know exactly how, maybe not exactly how, but to know the patterns that my mood is going to go through. So I do my monthly spreads. I did my monthly spreads like this, where I would have a full calendar spread, and I would have my level 10 life reflection on a journal card. I think these are Project Life cards, but I would just attach them that way so that I could, quickly flip them out if I wanted to look at them. And you can see this in previous Plan With Me, so I always start with a brain dump and an open page. Then I would move on to tracking my triggers, my anxiety and my migraine triggers, and I would try tracking healthy habits. But I did not keep up with those very well. And then I would do weeklies, and I'm flipping through these because for a while I was also keeping my lesson plans in here. I switched planners in the middle of the year for my lesson plans. But I was doing this for a while, but what I also found was once school let out, I went to dailies. And in fact, this is the beginning of June. No, that's April. This is spring break. So during spring break, I did dailies. I went back to weeklies to get back to the school year. But then at the end of the school year, I tried doing a weekly for 2 weeks and I didn't do anything in it. So that's when I made the switch to dailies. And I've really enjoyed these dailies over the course of the summer. And they're something that I'm going to be trying to continue into the new bullet journal, but we'll see how well that goes. So while I was doing those dailies, actually before I had done the dailies, I had picked up these sticker books from Michael's on sale, and I think you saw them in the Hall of Hollow thing, and so I picked them up and I was using them, but I wasn't necessarily using them a whole bunch, and I was trying to figure out, I bought these, I was really excited to use them, and then I kind of lost that excitement, and I was trying to find it again, and I did, and this coffee one I haven't used as much because the colors didn't quite fit with what I was doing. But I've been using a lot of these stickers in my dailies, particularly to track water, to track hydration, and to track my workouts. Because one of the things that I have learned about myself in this whole process is that because I have a chronic condition, actually I have a couple of chronic conditions, and because I'm going through some really big physical changes with my body because of those chronic conditions, that having something daily is a lot easier for me than having something weekly or even something monthly. Now that may change when I go back to school in August because, a teacher, I don't know that I'm going to have the time to do it daily, but that's my goal. So I started to use these and I kept up with them really well in the month of June, and I really enjoyed it. So when I started to consider how I wanted to do my new bullet journal setup, that certainly played a role. So one of the things, if you've seen my channel over at the Sustainably Healthy Mimzy, is that I'm trying to move towards a more low-waste lifestyle, and I'm purposefully not using the word zero waste. Zero waste is incredibly difficult in this society that we have. I'm not in a total food desert, but I am certainly in an area where it's really hard to find things that are not packaged at all. Like, non-packaging almost doesn't exist for most goods here. And even we don't have any bulk stores, and the things that you can buy in bulk at certain places are very, very limited to things like nuts and all that. So I say low waste. I'm trying to do everything I can, and I'm doing it in steps. So I've started to make these slow changes. I am moving away from purchasing things on websites that I don't necessarily know where the products are coming from to where I do know where the products are coming from. So this file folder came in my last Zenpop box, which I'm going to link above if you haven't seen it. I love the Zenpop box because they give high quality stationery products from Japan once a month. They're the kind of stationery that I like, and they come from good places, companies that I recognize. So I wasn't sure how to use this at all. I did not have a clue how to use it. And then I started looking at Etsy shops. So one of the ways that you can support, one of the ways that I like to support a slightly more minimalist lifestyle, and I hesitate to use that word because it's my idea of minimalism isn't so much the same thing as you might see like in a regular understanding of what minimalism is, because I still think that I can do all of these things and enjoy the things that I enjoy. I'm part Marie Kondo's methods, part minimalist methods, just kind of across the board. So I have started to be really, really purposeful, or I'm trying to, with the things that I buy. And I have ordered a few things from small Etsy shops and I like the smaller Etsy shops for my journaling in the future, so that I can do things like track my water. And yes, I could just simply write down the water tracker in my notebook, and there will probably be some days, some weeks, some months that I do that. There's also nothing wrong with me enjoying something that someone else has created. So this is from the Paper Squirrel Company, and they are on Etsy and on Instagram, but I'll link their shop down below. So I ordered a couple of things. Like, I knew I wanted to track my water, and I knew I wanted to track my workout. And while I really enjoy creating art in my bullet journal, which you'll see, I also really enjoy having things that are not things that I've created, like that just pop. So this is going to be incredibly useful to me in that vein. All right, let's get into the changes of the new bullet journal. It's another dingbats, not surprised, I hope. And I really love it. So I started with, and this was a freebie that I got. And actually, I've decided that this page is going to be for some self-expression through stickers, maybe a collage. So I started with a quote, which I know a lot of bullet journalers do, and I've never done that before. I don't even remember. Did I start with a quote in my blue one? Now I have to go back and check. No, I didn't. I started with the index. I went straight for the index. So this time I started with a quote, and it says, "I never look back, darling. It distracts from the now." And that's Edna Mode from The Incredibles. I picked it because that's one of the things that I'm working on, is really working on what's in front of me right now, things that I can do right now. And if I've done everything that I can do, then that's all that there is. And that's, for someone who's so type A and who is just a little bit extra like I am, that's really hard. So that's why I picked that quote. I also picked the theme silver, rose gold, and copper. In my blue one, the theme was rose gold, and I've expanded it to include silver and copper. They don't always go together, but I'm really enjoying using them in this. Okay, the next thing I did was a grid spacing guide, which I totally took from Amanda Rachel Lee. She is on YouTube and on Instagram, and I really love having this. It's really easy to have all the numbers, and then I can just quickly reference this when I'm making a spread, followed by my index. So I had set 19 goals for 2019, and I'm starting to highlight the ones that I have completed. So that is something that I'm still working on, but I'm also keeping track of the books that I've read. So I redid that whole spread into this bullet journal, and it's blank right now, but I've got like 5 different books going, so this will start to get filled up pretty quickly. The next thing I did was activity rewards page, and this is something I took from Boho Berry. I have been tracking my health in a number of different ways over a ton of years. I track my food intake and my exercise using this lovely little watch, and also my cell phone. I have an app. I'm using the Noom app. I was using Lose It, but I like Noom better for some reason, and I don't quite know why I like Noom better. But this was, I thought, a lot better way of tracking the kinds of things that I'm doing, because for me, these choices about living a whole life it's about every decision affects every part of your life, whether or not you understand, whether or not you know that. And so it's about making decisions that are going to be positively impacting on my life. So instead of just like, when I reach this weight goal, or when I reach this, whatever goal, I get to reward myself. It's how can I earn these rewards? So I've added things that are important to me. Stationary bento box, Etsy shopping trip, some enamel pins. I love pins. Going to the art store. I am a Hufflepuff. A pen gem, which I've never had one before, but I found one I really liked. So I'm building up towards that. And then, of course, replacing my current closet with sustainable clothing. Then I listed out my motivation. These are the things that are motivating me to do the health-related things that I'm working on, followed by a future log. And since I'm hoping this only goes through December, I did just put it all on one page. If I get to 2019 and I have enough for, I don't know, maybe at least 2 or 3 months, then I'll do another future log for then as well. I also did an ideal morning routine. I used to do an ideal day routine, but my days vary. I'm a teacher, so some days I'm at school, some days I'm not. So having an ideal morning routine where I distinguish between getting up for school and getting up during the summer is also really nice. So all of these decisions that I made here reflect an ideal day. And I should mention that I'm going on a 2 days on, 2 days off. So today is technically a rest day, so I don't have to do a workout today. I'm trying to get my body to recoup and to not overwork, particularly my feet, which is where my chronic condition lies. So this morning I got up at 7:45. I did not get up at 7, but I also wasn't working out, so those kind of canceled each other out. I then made some coffee, and I made some oatmeal for myself and my partner, and I ate those while journaling. And then I got ready for the day. So I'm really enjoying this routine. I'm really liking being able to do all this and keep to this, and I'm hoping that by setting it out this way now, that when school goes back, I'll be able to keep up with this. The other thing I did, and this was inspired by a dear friend of mine, Liz, the planning period, she has this useful dates page, and I really liked it, but I wasn't ready to put it in kind of the way that she had it. So what I did instead was put in these weekly habits. So these are important things that need to be done regularly, and I've separated them to health, work, pets, and house. Then we move into July. So normally I do a plan with me. I say normally, but I've only had this channel for a few months. So I did not do a plan. I did not film a plan with me because I knew that I was making some pretty big changes, and I wanted to kind of discuss those changes. So normally this would be brain dump page, welcome to July. But I took a note from someone. I took an inspiration from someone who I cannot remember right now, and I really apologize. I'll have to go back through my history, find the video, and then link it below. But the idea was that you do the welcome in the center, and then you use the outside as the calendar. So you can see that's what I have done here, and I've chosen the theme of summer, food, and fun, mostly focusing on food. So I've got lots of fruits here. I've got some delicious sweets and cakes on this page as well. I don't have too much planned right now, but that's going to change. Then I got to the brain dump page and the YouTube planner page. In my last bullet journal, I had one YouTube page, and it was really hard to keep up with because I wouldn't think to flip back to that one page to record everything. Instead, I was recording things like on the daily or in a separate notebook. So what I decided to do was change this to a monthly plan, a brain dump for me to keep ideas, and then for me to list out the things that I'm going to be doing for the YouTube videos. So this video, what is today? Today is Tuesday. This video is coming out next Tuesday, so between the 6th and the 13th. And I have videos for the 6th and the 13th already filmed and ready to go. So I just need to figure out the other two and any other special videos that I'm going to do. Then I decided to do my trigger tracker. I have done this for months now. I've done this since January of last year. I know very well what I need to track on my trigger, so I simplified it, and I just used some memo sheets to kind of distinguish between different areas. So I did pick a year in pixels in my last bullet journal. I'm going back to monthlies. We'll see how I like it. Right now I like it a lot. And that's all I have to say about that for now. And then here we are on the dailies. So I am running out of weather stickers. I have more on the way that I ordered from a small Etsy shop, but for now I'm using fruit to be the sun. In Georgia, the high is 95 today, and I don't even want to begin to think what it's like to step outside, although I do need to go check the mail. So, and actually, I can cross off the About Me narrative because I started that. I did that, and I've done the kitchen, or I started the kitchen, so I can go ahead and cross those off. So, those are the changes that I'm making. I will probably still film Plan With Me's for the new bullet journal, but again, for this one, I really wanted to kind of point out the changes that I was making. And what's going to change is that I'm probably going to be doing less traditional haul videos. So while I may occasionally, and I didn't even go to these stores that often, but I probably will be going even less often to stores like Michael's and Joann's and Five Below and all of those things, and more so focusing on supporting small business and supporting environmentally sustainable businesses. There we go. I can speak English. So I hope that you enjoyed this kind of brief, but we're at 20 minutes, this brief kind of walkthrough of changes from the first half of the year to the second half of the year in my bullet journal. I hope that you'll join me for the next couple videos. I think the next haul that I'm going to film, is going to be done as these little sheets come in from the stores that I've ordered from. and I'm really looking forward to sharing these things with you guys. So I want to give one more shout out to my other channels, because I have two other ones. The first one, as I said, is the Sustainably Healthy Mimzy, and I'm going to link that up there. And the second one, which this notebook pertains to, is Teaching Forever Learning, where I record what I'm doing, the tips and things that I'm learning about teaching, and I'll link that up there as well. There will be plan with me's in this journal for that channel as well. So thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Please give this a thumbs up if you did. If you have a favorite Etsy shop, I want to hear about it, because I am just now getting into this world of Etsy, and it's so overwhelming. So please leave me a comment down below about what your favorite Etsy shop is, who you keep revisiting, and who's your go-to on Etsy for planning supplies and all that kind of stuff like that. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this video and want to see more like it, and hit that notification bell. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.